Putin bad news. A Russian war correspondent was killed when Ukraine allegedly used cluster bombs. As part of his business trip to Russia, Lukashenko will meet with Putin. The two leaders will meet to discuss the trajectory of their country's strategic partnership. Moscow has accused Ukraine of killing a war correspondent and wounding 3 others with cluster bombs. 1 journalist was killed and 3 others were evacuated from the Zaporizhia region. All 4 worked for Russia's state news agency. One of Deutsche Welle's reporters was injured in a separate incident in another part of Ukraine, the network reported. Russia has attacked the Ukrainian city of Odessa, located on the Black Sea, again. The attack resulted in at least 1 death and 18 injuries. On Sunday, Spaniards will decide whether to give Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez of the Socialist Party another 4-year mandate or, as polls suggest, return the right to power with its far-right ally. A rightward shift in the Eurozone's 4th largest economy, similar to what happened in Italy last year, would be devastating for left-leaning parties in Europe ahead of the European elections in 2024. Given that Spain currently holds the EU's rotating presidency, it would carry even more weight. Polls and experts predict that Alberto Núñez Feijóo's Conservative Popular Party, PP, will win the election, but anything is possible. 1/5 of voters were still on the fence as of the most recent polls publication on Monday, and it's still unclear how the vote's scheduling, during the height of the summer holidays in the sweltering late July heat, will affect turnout. The Spanish Postal Service reported on Saturday that a record number of absentee voters, 2.47 million, out of a total of 37.5 million had cast their ballots while away on vacation. The polls will be open from 7 a.m. 0700 GMT to 8 p.m., with results expected shortly thereafter. Not a good week. The PP candidate's final week of campaigning has not gone well. He made a gaffe about pensions, refused to participate in the final televised debate, and had troubling questions raised about his ties to a drug dealer who is now in prison. It would be a huge surprise if the PP didn't win, the author continues. Pedro Riera Sagrera, a political scientist at Madrid's Carlos III University, said, but whether it will be able to form a government is another matter. Feijóo is hoping his party will win enough seats in the 350-seat parliament to form a government on its own, but polls show that this is unlikely to happen. The poll results indicate he will fall short and be forced to form an alliance with the far-right Vox, a party that emerged in 2013 as a result of a schism within the PP. Given his reputation as a moderate and the fact that his party has recently made deals to jointly govern with Vox and local and regional authorities in the wake of the right's victory in regional elections in May, this poses a significant challenge for Feijóo. Throughout the talks, Vox stood firm on its unpopular stances, such as its opposition to abortion and trans rights, its denial of gender violence, and its refusal to acknowledge climate change. In exchange for its support, Vox leader Santiago Abascal has warned the PP that his party will demand a role in government. If successful, this would be the first time that members of the far right have served in a Spanish government since the end of the Franco dictatorship in 1975. Cons. Not ideal. According to an interview published on Friday in the daily newspaper El Mundo, Feijóo has been keeping his plans regarding Vox under wraps because a candidate should not say who they will ally themselves with 2 days before an election. Vox in a coalition government is not ideal, he continued. Sanchez has tried to rally leftist and moderate voters by promoting the possibility of a national PP-Vox government. While participating in a TV debate on Wednesday, he expressed concern that such a government would not only be a step backwards for Spain, in terms of rights. He says his Socialist Party's coalition government with the far left is the only viable option. Sumar, a new formation led by his highly popular Labour Minister Yolanda Díaz, a communist, has absorbed Podemos, an extreme left party with which he has been in coalition since 2020. Sanchez's relationship with Díaz is cordial, in contrast to the tense relations between the socialists and Podemos. There is a serious risk that neither side will secure a working majority, according to Riera, which could lead to new elections in a few months if the leftist coalition fails to maintain power.